all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. I'm Alex Matthew. I know I sound a little different, but this is still me. I'm just a little under the weather. Nothing a nice hot cup of ginger tea won't fix. Let's take you through everything that you need to know at the start of Friday, the 14th of February. The White House's top economic advisor heightened U.S. criticism of China's response to the coronavirus outbreak, echoing ongoing doubts about the accuracy of counts of new cases and deaths. Kudlow said that the U.S. was disappointed that American health experts still hadn't been allowed in and questioned the details behind the close to 15,000 cases that China added to its total tally of infected yesterday. A top WHO official said that many of the cases that were added yesterday date back days and weeks and are the result of a change in China's method of counting the number of infections. Two top Chinese officials were removed in the biggest political fallout so far from the epidemic, and a report said that China may also delay its annual political meeting. S&P's global ratings has retained India's sovereign ratings at BBB- with a stable outlook, saying that the country's GDP growth is likely to gradually recover towards long-term trend rates over the next 2 to 3 years. But the ratings agency also said that India's fiscal position remains precarious, with elevated fiscal deficit and net government indebtedness. It expects there to be limited fiscal consolidation over the next few years. Financial creditors to Amtek Auto have approved a resolution plan submitted by Deccan Value Investors. The stressed auto parts maker informed the exchanges that its committee of creditors had voted in majority for the plan submitted by Deccan Value Investors through a voting process between the 7th and 11th of February. Deccan Value Investors has, according to a person Bloomberg Quint spoke to, offered 2,700 crore rupees to the financial creditors as part of the plan. Of this, 500 crores would be paid upfront, while 1,800 crore will be repaid through future receivables. The resolution plan implies a 78% haircut for the financial creditors. Vodafone Idea has reported a greater than expected loss in the quarter ended December amid concerns about the telecom operator's ability to remain in business. The telecom operator's net loss stood at 6,438.8 crore rupees compared with a loss of 50,922 crore rupees in the 3 months ended September, according to an exchange filing. In fact, the company said in a statement that the existing material uncertainty on account of pending liabilities casts a significant doubt on its ability to continue as a going concern. The 15th Finance Commission has set up a panel to examine if India needs a separate mechanism to fund defense and internal security. More details on that in the story on the website bloombergquint.com. In international news, the US raised the stakes in its battle with Huawei, using a law historically associated with prosecuting mafia figures to claim that the Chinese company engaged in decades of intellectual property theft. The fresh allegations raised the stakes by including racketeering, conspiracy, increasing the potential punishment. Tesla is selling about $2 billion of common stock, taking advantage of its surging shares just 2 weeks after Elon Musk said raising capital doesn't make sense. Assuming underwriters exercise their option to purchase additional securities, the offering could bring in about $2.3 billion in proceeds, according to a Tesla statement. That will help fund as much as $3.5 billion in capital expenditures this year, a plan that the company disclosed less than an hour before it announced its fundraising plans. In international markets, US equities had a turbulent Thursday, fluctuating between gains and losses on mixed news about the coronavirus outbreak, only to fade after the Federal Reserve Bank of New York said it will further shrink repurchase agreement operations. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq ended lower by less than 0.2%, while the Dow declined by about 0.4%. Equity markets in the Asia-Pacific region have started mixed, with the Nikkei 225 in Japan trading lower by as much as 0.7% and the other two early risers in Australia and South Korea trading moderately positive. And with that, it's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Darshan. How are we likely to end the week?
Hi Alex, good morning everyone. Global cues are slightly muted at this point of time. Asia too has started weak, but the SGX Nifty is indicating a slight positive outlook. With the fag end of the earnings season, so ONGC will be the Nifty earnings for today. There is SpiceJet, Sun TV, Pfizer, Muthoot Finance, Embassy Office, Glenmark Pharma, SAIL, Graphite India and Shree Cement among the larger companies that will report numbers. Among the results announced, BPCL results were in line with estimates. Revenues up 16%, profit down 26%, EBITDA up 14%. The calculated GRMs came in at $3.26 per barrel versus an estimate of $3.48. The profit was down due to lower other income and tax reversal last year. Nestle results were in line with estimates. The revenues up 9%, profit up 38%, EBITDA was up 23%. The gross margins were hit owing to higher input costs and the EBITDA was hit on raw material cost. The rise in dairy input and sugar prices has impacted the gross margins. The domestic sales is up 10%, exports is down 10% because of Turkey exports. Vodafone Idea revenues were up 2%, EBITDA up 0.7%. There was a net loss of 6,400 crores. The ARPUs were up 2% and that was because of an addition of 8 million 4G subscribers. The management has indicated that around 85% of the guided synergies has been achieved by this quarter. The company said there is also a doubt on the ability to continue as a going concern. Remember, the AGR outcome that happens today will be the key monitorable. Apollo Hospitals results above estimates, revenues up 17%, profit up 83%, EBITDA up 53%. The revenue growth was led by strong performance of the new hospital. Healthcare services was up 12%, pharmacy up 12% and clinics up 22%. Page Industries results were below estimates, revenues up 7%, EBITDA down 16% and profit down 15%. The volume degrowth was at 2.8% versus a 12% growth last time around. The margins were impacted by higher raw material cost and higher trade incentives, and the realization growth was driven by a 4 to 5% price hike and better mix. Lemon Tree Hotels revenues up 40%, EBITDA up 65%, profit down 2%. Ind AS impacted the overall operational numbers and profit. The average daily rate is seen on an improving trend despite weak macro. The occupancy was down 1.5% and RevPAR was up 1.9%. All cargo logistics revenues down 1%, profit down 8%, EBITDA up 12%. The margins improved due to lower other expenses and the profit was impacted by a tax reversal. Among the stocks to watch out for the telecom stocks. The Supreme Court will hear the telecom dues case today. Avenue Supermart's promoter will sell in 2.28% stake in the company, which is close to 1.5 crore shares via an OFS. And Jindal Poly, the board has approved expansion plan for the company's India operation by an investment of 700 crores in the polyester film line and BOPP film line. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab and you will be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And as always, thank you all for listening in. For all those of you who have plans today, well, happy Valentine's Day. And here's wishing everyone a happy weekend.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.